Hello class, this is a video tutorial on triangle congruency proofs. In this video, I'll just be doing two more examples on congruency proofs, just so that you can get a better idea as to how to construct your own proofs. So I prepared here two questions. Move the camera so it goes in a little bit closer, so you have a better view. Let me just adjust this. Here we are. Let's start with our first question here. So we are presented with this diagram of A, B, C, D, and it's cut in half somewhere here. And it's our task to prove that, well, let's prove the following. Let's do it one at a time. Let's ignore for now B and C, and let's just do question A. So let's prove that triangle ACD, so this triangle here is congruent to ACB. Okay, so let's go about doing that. Let's answer question A. As we remember, we have everything on the left hand side being this triangle, everything on the right hand side being that triangle. And so let's get to it. Let's have triangle ACD on the left and triangle ACB on the right. So let's just use first the information that we are given. In triangle ACD, we have AD with a single dash and AB with a single dash as well. So we can say that those two sides are equal to each other. Let's make that statement. AD is equal to AB. And the reason we have for that is given information. We already know that. Those lines, these little dashes, tell us so. Let's take a look again. We have this side DC with a double dash equaling this side BC also with a double dash. So let's make that statement. DC is equal to BC. That information is also given. Now, what other pieces of information can we take? Well, there are no angles. There are no angles that we are given. However, we can see straight away, I hope you can see, that this side, AC, is a shared, or it's a common side. You see how in this triangle, triangle ABC, it uses the side, and triangle ADC, it also uses the same side. So because it is shared, AC is shared, or you can say it is common. Okay, you can say that they're equal to each other. Now take a look. This is a side. What's a side? This here is also a side, and this here is also the side of a triangle. And because we have side, 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 we can prove, therefore, triangle ACD is congruent to triangle ACB. That is question A. We've constructed a three-step proof. Let's move on to question B. Let's prove that DAC, I'm just going to mark it here, is equal to, sorry, that should be equal, not congruent, is equal to BAC. I can't mark it with the same dot, so I'm just going to put an X. So we want to prove that those two angles are equal. Well, that's actually very simple. Because we've proven that these two triangles are congruent, we can just say very simply, angle BAC, the one with the X, is equal to angle CAB. AD or DAC. We'll make it DAC. And the reason for that is they are corresponding angles of congruent triangles, because these two angles are the corresponding angles of the congruent triangles. Because these two triangles are congruent, these two angles must be congruent. And as you're reading, I hope you are, we can prove this the exact same way. ADC is equal to angle ABC. So let me mark those again. I'll mark this with a plus, and this one with a blank circle. We want to prove these two angles are equal. Well, it's actually the exact same reasoning. We can just say that angle ADC is equal to angle ABC because corresponding angles of congruent triangles. So I did it in full and the short form for it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Prove the following: that triangle ABP, so this triangle is congruent to DCP, so this triangle. We want to prove that these two triangles are the same. Let's begin. Once again, let's put our little headings down. Triangle ABP and triangle DCP. Well, let's begin first with the information we are given. Well, let's start with the dot. That dot is angle BAP. So angle BAP is equal to this one also with the dot, so CDP, angle CDP, and that is given to us. That is a given piece of information. We have also this side here. That side is also given information. That is AP is equal to DP. That is also given information. And now lastly, let's see if we can find any other angles or sides. Well, we can't use AB and CD because we don't know if they're equal or not. Neither can we use BP or CD. At this point, we can actually do one of two things. Right? If we can prove that these two angles are equal, we would have successfully solved this problem. Or if we can prove that these two angles are equal. I think we're going to have to draw on the idea that these two angles are vertically opposite from each other. So we're going to use that piece of information. So BPA, angle BPA is equal to CPD, angle CPD. And these are because they are vertically opposite. Now let's take a look. We have two angles. That is an angle. This is a side. This is an angle. Angle, angle, side. So we can prove now that these two triangles, so triangle APB is congruent to triangle DCP. And the reason we had for that was angle, angle, side. Now, because we know that these are congruent, we can easily solve these two questions. So question, that is part A. Part B, well, that's very simple. BP is equal to PC. Those two, that's easy. We can make that statement very clearly. AP is equal to, whoops, BP is equal to CP because they are corresponding sides of congruent triangles. And lastly, AB and DC. So these two those two sides, exact same reasoning, is equal to DC because they are corresponding sides of congruent triangles. That concludes the video. I hope that gave you an insight and some more help into how how to solve congruency proofs. Best of luck.